It's July. It's a new month and a new theme. Although you may recognize the name of it because it was supposed to be our theme in June. But then June went sideways and flipped around and turned upside down for me, for us as a community. Our lives got shifted and changed with the sudden illness and transition of my beloved husband, Lonnie, and our beloved Lonnie. So when I wasn't here in June, and Reverend Sherry held us in this container of love and care, if you would please acknowledge Reverend Sherry McCreary for that. I said, Reverend Sherry, why don't you talk about whatever it feels like it needs to be talked about? And yeah, if you don't mind, save that theme for me when I come back. So I'm back, as Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, once said, I'm back. I'm back. And the theme that we were going to do in June feels even more appropriate, more important, more timely this month than even it would have been last month. And it's Through God's Eyes is the theme, and it's based on this scrumptious book entitled Through God's Eyes. And it is really a compilation of topics and some thoughts by the author that are then supported by exquisite quotes from philosophers and spiritual leaders and business people and even celebrities, scientists, poets. It's just a gorgeous compilation of thoughts. And so we're going to take some thoughts from here and explore ideas out of this book this whole month. Now, we bought this book to have in the bookstore, and we had it in the bookstore. It's on sale this month, and First Service was very enthusiastic about the book, and therefore there's only one left, and it happens to be that one right there. So I'm actually thinking about auctioning it off to the highest bidder. I thought that might not be a bad little fundraising activity. Let's just, put this open for bid, however once. We will get more. And if you know you want one and you want to get it from us, which we invite you to do, and we thank you for doing that, if you wouldn't mind going to and you can wait a week, go to the bookstore and just put your name on a list, and we'll make sure that we have one for you next Sunday. Okay, so is that a deal? So if you want the book, other than this one, which is, I think at least it's $200, at least. I think we'll start the bidding at least $200 for that one remaining copy. So the idea of this book, the subtitle of this book is Finding Peace and Purpose in Our Lives in a Troubled World. And I think if we were just going to look on the surface and say at the surface level, we live right now in a troubled world. My world, internally, my personal world, I'm living right now in a troubled world. And so how perfect and how profound we get to look at God through God's eyes at this world that we see that looks challenging, looks scary, looks sad, looks frightening, all of those things through a lens that helps us find our center, our anchor, our peace, and our purpose. So I dedicate this month in honor and in love and in remembrance of, in my book, The Most Amazing Man Who Ever Walked the Earth. No criticism of any of you guys sitting out there. I love you. But Reverend Lonnie, we dedicate this month to you in your honor. Yay. Yes. And I still do have my stock and tissue, and it's fine for you guys to have that as well. Yeah. So to set the tone for our entire month, we're going to talk about living on purpose. The title is Your Destiny Awaits, but we could also say Your Purpose Awaits. Now, maybe you're sitting here going, oh, I know what my purpose is, and I'm living it. Yay, good for you. If that's the case, I just want you to take today as an invitation to take that purpose up a notch on your evolutionary spiral. Take it up a notch. But I also know that there are a lot of people who don't think anyway they know what their purpose is. They're not sure. They have questions. They're searching. They're asking. Or maybe they've just come numb to it and don't even think about it. If you are there, this is a perfect day for you to be here. And if you're anywhere in the middle between those two, got it, not a clue, this is also a perfect day for you to be here. Because it is my intention, my prayer, my hope, if you will, that there is something in this today for every single one of you. And you walk out of here today more inspired to live on purpose, that you walk out of here today more clear about your purpose, or more clear about what might be the next step is on your purpose. And we're going to do this in a number of ways. The first of which is I'm going to invite you in a little journey. And I was very nervous to do this in first service because it's a closed-eye journey. And that's 9 o'clock, and that's early. But I didn't lose anybody. I'm really happy. Nobody felt, well, at least I heard no snoring. So I'm making the assumption I didn't lose anybody in first service. So you guys now have had not just one, but probably 3 or 4 cups of coffee by the time you've gotten here, and maybe it's not as dangerous to invite you into a closed-eye experience. So I do invite you to do that right now, is to close your eyes. And take a deep breath. A deep, deep breath. Because I want you to go on an imaginary journey with me. I want you to see this in your mind's eye, feel this in your heart. And if you're not one who gets images, well, follow my words. But I want to take you to a time a long, long, long time ago. And as some famous movie said, in a galaxy far, far away. This is before you were a physical being. This was when you were pure essence, with no form, no personality, no name, no gender, no race, no religion, no orientation, no individualization of your own. A time when you were just one in the essence and in the allness of God. Get an image in your mind's eye. Feel it in your heart of hearts, what this might look like and feel like. And since it is highly likely you don't actually remember, just make it up. Are there swirling colors? Bright white lights? Pulsating energy? An all-pervading sense of love, peace, and calm? Now imagine that in this essence and in the allness of God, that there is a desire to know and experience more of its own divine self. And that desire is manifesting as a soul described as you. This soul described as you is birthed from within Source's own creative nature. And this soul that is you is created and sent on a mission, on purpose to this earth. And at the moment that your soul is being brought forth, you clearly and unequivocally understand your destiny, your purpose. And you do this because you hear it whispered in your ear by Source itself, by God herself, by energy, by life. And that says to you, go to earth, my beloved, and be an individualized expression of me. This is your destiny. This is your purpose. Go to the earth and be an expression of my love, my light, my truth. Go to the earth and be an expression of my peace, my creativity, my givingness, my joy. Go to the earth and be an expression of my eyes, my ears, my hands, and my heart. And do it, my beloved, in your own unique way, which is absolutely perfect for you. And to this destiny, to this purpose, you enthusiastically and energetically and passionately say, yes. Feel yourself saying yes right now to this charge, to this sacred and holy charge that you've been given. You say, yes, infinite spirit, divine God, mother, father, energy, I will be your love. I will be your light. I will be your truth in my perfect, unique way. Yes, I will be your peace, your creativity, your givingness, your joy in only the way I can do it. Yes, I will be your eyes. I will be your ears. I will be your hands. I will be your heart with my stamp of individuality upon them. You are ready. And you are excited to come into this earthly expression and be all of this. You are ready and excited to be an individualized expression of God. And just as you are ready to burst forth into human form and expression, you hear God whisper again in your ear, and he says, and oh, by the way, you won't remember any of this by the time you get there. Take a deep breath. Bring yourself back to this room. Stretch a little bit, wiggle fingers and toes, whatever you need to do to bring yourself back. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So here you sit this morning in your particular form, your unique personality, your name, your gender, your race, your religion, your orientation, your individuality, all enveloped in a bundle of beliefs, labels, information, misinformation, experiences, impressions, misimpressions, forgetting completely the message from the divine. Oh, by the way, you won't remember any of this by the time you get there. So why did God do that, for crying out loud? What is up with that? What is up with that? Why did we have to forget? It would have been so much easier if we just retained that missive, that sacred covenant that we were given. It would have been so much easier if we remembered that. I talked last week about the mystery and how sometimes we just have to live in the mystery that we don't always get to know. I'm living in the mystery right now, and why is a question we want to ask, but not really one that has any answer and that doesn't get us anywhere. So asking, why did we have to forget? I don't know the answer to that. Although perhaps, I'll just throw out a perhaps part of the journey and part of the joy of the journey is the exploration and the discovery. Maybe the discovery of why we are here makes it even more sweet than if we were just handed it on a platter with the remembering. Ernest Holmes tells us in the textbook at page 391 that the eternal has placed itself at the center of our being in order that we may function individually. The discovery of this, the greatest truth about mankind, is the greatest discovery of the ages. Well, maybe source didn't want to deprive us of discovering this for ourselves. And so that is our mission here in life, is to discover, to really uncover, to awaken to the destiny that is ours, the purpose that is uniquely and perfectly ours. And so the greatest thing in my mind that could happen here today is that you walk out of here this morning clearer and more on fire for your purpose, to live God's love, God's light, God's truth, God's joy, God's peace, God's creativity, God's givingness. If you walked out of here more on fire, more on purpose, more passionate about being God's eyes and being God's ears and being God's hands and being God's heart. And this is a particularly important topic for me because, as you might understand, the last 2 months, I've been rather flat about all of that. Flat about pretty much everything emotionally, and also the roller coaster. Not just flat, it's the roller coaster. I'm on a roller coaster, as I know many of you are as well, around the loss of our sweet Lonnie. I certainly am on a roller coaster. But just this week, in spite of or because of, I'm not sure which, something I'm about to say, I have been reignited a bit for my passion and for what I'm here to do, to be and do that which brings me joy and which serves the world in the way that I came here to do. I've had that spark in me reignited. Yay, yay, I'm happy about that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And it may have come because of the near-death experience I almost had on the I-17 2 weeks ago that some of you heard about. I won't go into details. Listen to the talk last week. I described it, but just as an overview, I saw driving down the I-17 heading from Sedona coming home, a boat literally come off of its trailer and head straight at me and my little car heading 80 miles an hour. Whoa, that can make one rethink one's life when you avoid having anything happen to you because the boat takes a skip and goes in the other direction, and no one else was hurt either, by the way, just so you know. So my renewed enthusiasm could come at least in part from that. But it also came, I think, again, because of or in spite of, last week, to be honest, was a really difficult week for me. It was probably the hardest string of days I've had since Lonnie passed. And it's all because of you that it happened. It is. It's because of last Sunday. Last Sunday was my first Sunday back in 2 months. I haven't been here in 2 months, so it was my first Sunday back. And while being here was amazing, and it was beautiful, and it fed my soul to be with you and to, again, do what I meant to do and stand up here on the platform, but what it brought home before and after was the sweet rhythm and flow that Lonnie and I had for my 21 years of ministry. He's been this whole journey with me, and Sunday morning had a particular rhythm and flow. And he had a big part in it, because my job was just to get myself emotionally and physically and spiritually ready for this morning, and then to do this morning service. And that's all I had to do. But last Sunday, I had a whole lot more to do. I was a half an hour late coming to church because, oh my gosh, the dog needs to be fed. Oh my goodness, the dog needs to be walked. Curly was grateful for that. But Lonnie did those things. I walked out of the house last Sunday morning and thought, okay, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this picture besides the fact that he's not with me. What is it? Oh, I have no breakfast. That's what's wrong. He always made my breakfast. He made my protein shake that he would package up and put in a little bag and a little ice in it, and he would make sure it came to church with us. So I had to stop, put everything down. I had all my stuff loaded up, my keys in my hand, my purse in my hand, my shoes, because I don't wear these only on the stage. I don't wear them around. My other shoes. I had to put it all down and stop and drag out the blender, drag out the protein, drag out the fruit. I had to do all that. And then I got home, and the routine and flow that we had in the afternoon and in the evening wasn't there. And he always made me a special dinner. He called it, I'm going to make you a special dinner on Sunday night. All of his dinners were special. He was an amazing cook, but Sunday was special, extra special. And so none of that was there, and that really hurt. That was really painful. So I spent a good part of last week in the what isn't anymore. And wow, how I miss the what was. And so I was feeling sorry for myself and being sad and all of those things. And yet, in the middle of it was this spark of like, well, get back on purpose. You got to get back on purpose, kiddo. This is what brings you joy. This is what brings you alive. And you know what? You got to find yourself a new rhythm. a new flow, a new routine. And don't you know, because God is so good all the time, even when you're mad at her, which I am still a bit, but not as much. Not as much. A friend of mine that I used to work with when I was in my law firm days a million years ago in a galaxy, far time long ago in a galaxy far, far away, a lawyer that I worked with and I just loved called me and said, hey, my husband and I want to have you over for dinner. Would Sunday night work? Yeah, Sunday night would be perfect. I will have a special dinner made for me tonight. So this is an important topic for me, and I hope for you as well. This book, as I said, is a compilation of beautiful quotes and thoughts. And we're going to hear some of them, actually, from you. Several of you have an assignment here this morning. You've been given a job, and that is to share at the appropriate time a particular quote. And we're going to start with one right now. So this is how it's going to work. When you hear me say who the quoter is, I want you to pop up, and Fran is going to run the microphone to you. Please don't start speaking until we get the microphone to you, and then with passion and strength and aliveness, I want you to share your quote, okay? Those of you who have gotten the assignment, yes, shake your head that I can see who you are. Thank you, good. So the first quote comes from the son of Deepak Chopra. His name is Gautama Chopra. Who has, all right, pop yourself right up, and let's hear it.
Everyone has a special purpose, a special talent, or gift to give others, and it is your duty to discover what it is. Your special talent is God's gift to you. What you do with your talent is your gift to God.
I love that. It is our duty. It is our duty. It is our responsibility to discover it. We all have it, and it is a gift from the divine, and it is our gift to the divine when we share it and when we live it and when we honor it. That is how we honor and express ourselves and the bigger picture, the greater life. I know that Reverend Sherry, when she spoke in the last, actually 2 months that she spoke in May and June, shared this story with you, but I was so called to share it. And I wasn't positive when I was being called to share it that she had, but I found in first service that she did. But first service wanted to hear it again, so you're going to hear it again from me. It's the story, a true story of a tribe in Africa that believes that every single being has its own unique and personalized song. And that song, for me, in this context, is our purpose, is our reason for being. So they believe that it is to be discovered. And so when a woman finds out she is pregnant, women from the village go off with this pregnant woman, and they listen, they pray, they meditate until they hear the song of this baby. And once they hear it, they start to put it together, and they all learn it, and they sing this song to the belly of the pregnant woman. And then they take this song out into their tribe, and they bring it back to them, and they teach it to all the members of the tribe. So that when the baby is born, the whole tribe is around singing this song, so the baby hears its song right when it is born. And when this child grows up and starts to be taught and goes to school and starts to get an education, before that happens, the tribe gathers and sings this baby song, this child's song. When this child grows and goes from the initiation from youth into adulthood, the tribe gathers and sings the song. When the person weds, the tribe gathers and sings the song. When any significant life experience happens, the tribe gathers and sings the song. And finally, when the person is ready to pass from this world into the next, the tribe gathers and sings this person their song to remind them of their uniqueness. And there's one other time in the course of the life of this person where the tribe gathers and sings the song. And that is if the person has lost sight of who they are and have committed a crime or some social behavior that is really not acceptable. They gather the person in, they put him or her in the middle of a circle, and they don't punish because they know punishment is not the answer. It's a remembering of who they are, and so they sing the person their song. Now, I don't know about you, but I did not come into this world with the tribe singing my song. Did any of you? None of us got that. It would have been nice. It would have been lovely. We didn't get that. And so we must discover our song or our unique purpose for ourselves. And we can when we awaken to it, but it is our job to do that. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, good, yay, gave us this great wisdom.
Your vision will become clear when you look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens.
So we're about awakening. We're about awakening from the inside to what our purpose is. But here's the deal, or I should say, and here's the deal. There are actually lots of clues on the outside. There are lots and lots of clues to why you are here from your life if we awaken to those things going on around us. Pay attention to what you do and how people respond to you and what people say to you. Pay attention to those things because they are all breadcrumbs, if you will, to what your purpose is. This is if you are not sure what it is. Take inventory. By so often, again, if you're not sure, or maybe you are sure but you're a little off track, ask yourself this question. It's a combined question. It's a double question in one. Am I where I need to be, and am I doing what I need to be doing? And by need, I mean need as in need in order for me to fulfill my purpose. Am I where I need to be in order to live my purpose? Am I doing what I need to be doing in order to live my purpose? Now let's just take out the live my purpose. And if you just simply ask yourself, am I where I need to be? Am I doing what I need to be doing? And you feel into that answer, and it is yes. Even if you're not sure yet what your purpose is, keep doing what you're doing and being how you're being, because what you're doing they're stepping stones for the clarity and the understanding of what your purpose is. So keep up the good work, yay. If your answer to that is, no, not so much. No, not so much. Then pay attention to what is distracting you. Pay attention to what is calling you to be, I'm going to say, a little bit off course. And I love this statement from French philosopher, author, and journalist, and First Service corrected me on the pronunciation of his name, Albert Camus. I believe is how you say it. Elaine is going to share what this French philosopher said to us.
Whatever keeps you from your work is your work.
I love that. Whatever keeps you from your work is your work. It is your work to look at what is that and why is it distracting me? And how can I move away from that distraction? I'm telling you guys, internet games, that internet rabbit hole, that Facebook hole, oh, here I go again, that whole Facebook thing can be a perfect and beautiful tool, but it can also be a big, big, big distraction. So to refine your purpose, to define your purpose, notice what is distracting you and deal with it. Handle it. Get support in handling it if you need support. Get prayer around it. We have beautiful spiritual life coaches and ministers who would love to pray with you about that and serve and support you in that. Now, here's something I hear a lot from people, that they don't think they have a particular talent or a particular skill, and if they can't sing like Riley or play a musical instrument like these guys over here, then they don't have a purpose. You're not getting off the hook that easy. No. Maybe your purpose is tied to a particular skill or talent, and if it is, great, fantastic. But maybe your purpose is more intangible. Maybe your purpose is here to be a shining example of someone who walks in integrity. Maybe your purpose is to live from love and to bring love and light into the room wherever you go. So maybe your purpose is a doing, but maybe your purpose is a being. They are equally important. And here's a beautiful thought from the author of this book, Through God's Eyes, Phil Bostra, who said,
"A destiny of being is every bit as noble and fulfilling as a destiny of doing."
Read that one again because it's so good.
A destiny of being is every bit as noble and fulfilling as a destiny of doing.
Thank you. Perfect. And one final quote I want you to hear this morning is from Oliver Wendell Holmes.
Every calling is great when greatly pursued.
Thank you. Let's give our readers a hand this morning. Every calling is great when greatly pursued. So with all of those thoughts in mind, I want us to come back. Go back to that time a long, long time ago in that galaxy far, far away. So close your eyes again. We're going to return to that time when you were unformed, when you were pure essence. You had no personality, no physical beingness, no name, no gender, no race, no religion, no orientation, no individualization of your own. You were simply one in the essence and in the allness of the one. And remember for a moment, again, what it felt like. See what it looked like, colors, energy, an all-pervading and all-encompassing sense of love and peace and calm. And remember what God whispered to you in your ear right before you became a formed individual. Go to the earth, my beloved, and be an individualized expression of me. That is your destiny. That is your purpose. Go to the earth and be an expression of my love, of my light, of my truth. Be my peace. Be my creativity. Be my givingness. Be my joy. Go to the earth and be an expression of my ears, my eyes, my hands, and my heart. And do it in your own unique way that is perfect for you. And this time when you are reminded of that mission that you were given, and you are listening again this morning, allow, perhaps for the first time, perhaps a reminder, allow that unique way for you to live on purpose. Allow that to bubble up into your conscious awareness. Hear your specific song. Feel into that quality of the divine that you came here to express like no one else can do. Remembering that perhaps it is a skill and a talent. Perhaps it is something for you to do. Perhaps it is a way of being. It's something for you to be. Perhaps it is both. Listen closely right now, because God is whispering into your ear. Hear it. Feel it. Know it. And then, my friends, do not be afraid to share it, to sing it, to be it, to speak it, because that is why you are here. And for your benefit and for the benefit of the world, it is time for your mission, your purpose, your destiny to be lived. And so it is.